Hey guys, so I'm a few days late in doing my next video. I said I was going to try to do it Monday, but I had um, some errands to do, and then it kind of got away from me because I've been in transition with work. So making up for lost time and getting a video in now. Um, but yeah, I hope you guys have had a good week and are about to have a great weekend. Today, I want to talk to you guys about something that I find very, very fascinating, especially when it comes to um, religion and spirituality. And that is um, this concept where it marries religion and spirituality with our brain. And this is called neurotheology. And I heard this in a message one time. If you want to look at the full video, um, uh, um, I forget where it is, but if you just look up Ben Corson, pretty much all, if not almost all, of his videos talk about scientific facts, and in pretty much a few of them he mentions it. Anyway, it's this basic idea of whatever we think about God is what we will live out in our lives. It's basically, there's a book there. It's basically a God network within our brain. The sense of giving us an identity real estate. So, for example, if one were to view God as being a judgmental, upset, angry, sadistic, evil kind of God, then there's a part of their brain that is called the amygdala that will activate. And that is the part of the brain where there will be stress and there will be the chances to get angry more easily. All of these negative things that can be experiencing in a person, one will manifest in their physical selves if that's how one views God in that way. And like this pastor said, the opposite can happen, is if somebody views, instead of viewing God as a sadistic, judgmental, angry God, if they view him instead as loving and as beautiful and just totally awesome and everything, then instead of the amygdala activating, what ends up activating is the prefrontal cortex, I should say. And that is the part that is responsible for focus and things like fuzzy feelings and everything. I don't have the full details bogged down just because I'm kind of new to that, to this kind of theology, but I still find it awesome. So basically, what we think about God, ultimately we will live out, And so I remember, like within a year or two ago, I really struggled with hopelessness. And I kind of had a little bit of a, it wasn't a full anger problem, but I remember there were times, and I kind of still struggle with it, but I definitely, within the past, year or so before I did the internship, I was really struggling with not getting defensive. So like if somebody called me out on something, whether it was something that I did that was wrong, or they just called me out on something, and just the way that they would or wouldn't call me out or whatever, I would sort of get defensive in a way to where there would be no need for me to get defensive. Like I would be getting defensive for no reason. And that would lead to me getting angry, to where people are like, why are you getting angry? That kind of thing. Obviously, I'm not perfect, and so that there are times where I will struggle with that, and even sometimes give into that. But something that I have come to understand is that I don't view God in that way as I once did. I view him as beautiful. I view him as loving. I view him as kind and gentle and awesome. And I think it's because of that I have started to kind of have a focus as to not only how to view him, but also how to view myself, and how to live out his mission. And I think that we all, need to have a sense of self, and ultimately I think to understand God better, understand that science and religion are not at war, as a lot of Christians and atheists claim. And by atheists I mean like mostly scientists, because a lot of scientists, as far as I've heard, are atheists. But what's interesting is that there's this book that I read called The Big Question, Why We Talk About Science, Faith, and God. In that book, I forget the chapter, but there's a chapter in the book where I find this quote by Albert Einstein, and it's so, so true. He says that science without religion is lame, and religion without science is blind. So basically, if you can imagine somebody on one end of this spectrum, totally just all solely religion and spirituality, and you have somebody who is on the opposite end of the spectrum, solely scientific, solely logic, fact-driven, that kind of thing. And they claim that their field is the only field that has the answers to everything. But then there's a day that comes where they end up finding a question that their field can answer. And they're stuck with this dilemma of why am I not getting an answer, or all that stuff. And they end up asking themselves the question of, well, what if this other side of things, what if this, religion of Christianity, or the realm of science, like what if either of these fields can provide me with the possibility that I, with the perspective of God and the cosmos, that I've never known before. I mean, the author of the book, I don't know if he fully converted, but I do know that he started off as an atheist/agnostic. And he mentions in the book, I think quite a few times, that he doesn't regret looking into religious spirituality, because if he hadn't, he would have been the same closed-minded non-believer, whereas he's so thankful that he has, because it's allowed him to, and I don't know if he fully converted, but it's allowed him to kind of have a sense of more understanding of God and the world and the cosmos, compared to what he would know if he was just a scientist, or vice versa, and so I think we need to kind of marry this idea that science and religion aren't really at war. They're actually, if anything, synonymous. It's just a matter of wanting to open ourselves up and detach ourselves from our egos to want to go down that rabbit hole, and to uncover all of these, facts and truths and everything. But yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to share with you guys. I may or may not post a video tomorrow. Tomorrow is my, it would have been today, my Sabbath, but because I've been in transition with my new job, I had to work today, so I may or may not do a video, depending on my mood and depending on if I can fit it in with whatever I've got to do, which isn't much, but I'm going to try and see if I can fit in something fun, or something spiritual, something not spiritual, depending on my mood. But yeah, hopefully I'll get to a video tomorrow. If not, then I will try again sometime within the next week or so. So I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will talk to you guys later.